Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of My Story with Parsimi Bay. My name is Lydia and I'm hijacking her show today. If you're wondering where she is, she's somewhere here. Percy.
Hey guys, I'm back. Hey Lydia, how have you been?
I have been fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here actually. You've been missing for such a long time.
Yeah, and we've been planning to do this for a very long time, but something always came up and this time we decided to take advantage of this opportunity and just and finally get to it,
It's a pleasure, by the way. We need to hear the stories from you. We need to hear your personal take on the whole topic.
I hope I can be of some help and provide some insight. Just a disclaimer though, I have to say everyone's experience has been very different. Everyone lives their stay here in France very differently. And there's some people who have a more negative view of it, while I'm more on the positive spectrum. So, if I come off as too optimistic or too positive, then it's just probably because I've been living in a bubble and, don't take it personally.
I know you've been enjoying so far. It's been great for you.
Yeah, I can't complain.
By the way, guys, she's my really good friend, and thanks to her, we now have the microphone.
Oh my gosh! Please edit that part out. I'm really excited to be part of the show. I think you're doing a great job, and I also want to say thank you to all of you who've been supporting her, liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that stuff. So thanks a lot for all the love.
Thank you very much, guys. By the way, how long have you been in France?
I've been in France for 6 years now. Suddenly I feel old. I came here in 2014. I went to the town of Grenoble where I did my bachelor's. Okay. And then I moved, so I spent 3 years there. Then I moved to Nantes, where I spent 3 years doing my engineering degree. And that's where I met Percy, we go to the same school. And
that was actually I don't remember, when did we meet? December? No,
we met in September, I think.
Yeah,
September, when you were just arrived in September, because you've been here for a year.
Yeah. Okay, now you're the OG. We have a lot of things to ask you. You better prepare.
I hope I can be of some help.
Definitely you will be. Do you have things you miss from Kenya? We're going to start from there.
Definitely. Definitely. I think the first is always going to be food.
It's always food, guys.
Food. You miss the food, you miss the Kenyan cuisine, you miss everything choma, basically nyama choma, mahindi choma.
Kwanza mahindi choma, that one you never see anywhere.
You never see it. And even if you find maize here or corn here, it would be the sweet corn, the yellow one. So you can't find the white one. And even if you do it's just not the same, it's just not the same. So you definitely miss the food. There's no goat meat here. There's goat cheese. But there's no goat meat, so Christmas, nyama choma, sahau,
The only close thing to nyama choma is barbecues.
Yeah, they have barbecues. But the barbecues here are also really good. So you adapt, you learn to adapt and to start appreciating, the French cuisine or the French style of doing things. But after a while you do miss home. I remember there's this time I woke up with a craving for githeri. And I went and I bought canned beans and canned sweet corn.
That's what I did one day.
I mixed them and I'm it was very sweet githeri, but okay.
It's close to githeri, but not githeri.
Yeah. So sometimes you just miss home and it happens.
No, I'm missing home when you say that.
Yeah, you miss the food or chapo, ugali. But the things like chapo and ugali and mandazi, you can find the flour. You can find the wheat flour easily, obviously. But the maize flour, you have to look at, for certain shops, and it's not really the same, smooth texture. I don't know. So it's never exactly the same, but close, it can never be the same. Like even when you buy fruits from the shops that are from Kenya, like avocados from Kenya, like they're so tiny and just don't taste the same. So it's never really exactly the same.
Yeah, I feel the same thing, because even if we try to make chapos, you can never really get the taste you have when you're home.
Yeah. But you get used to it. There's some nice stuff to discover here as well. So once you kind of tell yourself, okay, let me just explore what's available, you can...
Like, let's hold this. Now we open French cuisine. Speaking of French cuisine, what have you come to love here?
Cheese. Sorry, that's not food. But I think my favorite French dish is actually a tartiflette, and it's like...
We'll put here, guys.
Yeah, and it's like basically cheese and just grease and potatoes, and it's just so fat and like greasy, but it's so juicy and good. But the French, like when you say French cuisine, like people might think fancy restaurants, frog legs and snails and all that, but no, like what I call French cuisine is what French students eat.
So it's like, I have to love this. I can't keep thinking of home now.
But if you want to explore, like there's so many varieties of like types of food here, and even the cheese, like I said, cheese just makes everything better. And it's just so French, but there's like hundreds of varieties of cheese, so you'll definitely find one that suits your your taste. So there's a lot of things to explore in terms of food, so definitely don't be afraid to try new things out.
That's a good advice.
And also, like, where you can really get like real nice French cuisine is if you like get invited like by a family, maybe for a Christmas dinner or something. They cook and you can see how they like, that's like their homemade food. It's also really interesting, and it's nice, a nice experience.
Or you have a French roommate, because that's my personal story. I had a French roommate. That's how I came to discover the French food. That's how we got to taste the cheese and everything.
Cheese and bread, there's always bread.
Now, away from the food, what else do you miss from Kenya?
I think the next one is very obvious. I miss getting my hair done at a salon.
We both have left our hairs.
Like it's such a hassle to get your hair done here. Like normally as a student you can't really afford to go to a salon because they're very rare and very expensive. Like you would pay 50, 60, 100 euros to get braids done. So like that's not an option. The other option would be to make friends with other Africans who know how to braid. So you exchange favors. I braid your hair, you braid my hair. Or there's some people who do like student discounts, which is like 20 euros or something. But I personally like I think the last option is what I did, which is to braid your own hair. Or there's another option, which is what you're doing, which is not to braid at all. Hair. But I don't have the heart for that. So I usually just like, I do my braids and then I leave them for like about a month and I don't touch my hair again. And right now I don't have braids because I'm waiting to have time, like I'm busy. So I'm waiting to have a long weekend where I can sit down and consecrate 1 or 2 days to doing my hair.
The downside is how it takes your heart first of all, and then it takes
and your arms
and your time, because if it takes you 2 days to do it, that's unlike Kenya where I really took things for granted, because you just go to the salon, sit there, let somebody work on your hair.
Oh, the luxury. Definitely, but I guess you could say you learn a new skill.
Okay, that's the upside.
Managing your own hair is a skill you learn living abroad, definitely.
You can be able to do your own hair, be able to appreciate your hair how it is, because for me, because of lack of these salons and everything, I was able to do my own twists, do my own 2 small braids, and even be able to walk around with my hair like this. Definitely. That's
something like I didn't used to do before, like walking around with an afro like that. Like I never did that, but I started doing it here because I realized here no one really cares. Like the French don't really know what's good or not good when it comes to African hair. So once you realize no one cares, you stop caring, and that's why I just tend to leave my hair, like by the time I remove my braids I look like I have a bush on my head, you know.
It's all grown.
Yeah, like I just don't care, you know, like and that's something I wouldn't do back home and that I forget sometimes. Like I remember this time I was going home for the holidays and I had braids that had been maybe 2-3 weeks, that were 2-3 weeks old, you know, not too old. By my standards, they looked fine.
Fine, yeah.
So I came home, I got to the airport and my mom was there and like I'm going to hug her and the first thing she says like, don't tell me you travel with your hair looking like that. So I'm like, oh, I forgot.
This is not France anymore.
Yeah, this is not France anymore. So yeah, definitely.
What else do you miss from home?
I would just say how relaxed everything is, especially like when it comes to public transport.
Yeah.
Like you know, if you have to go somewhere, usually leave the house like not even at a fixed time, like around this time you're leaving the house and you're walking at a normal pace and you're just sure you'll get the bus to go to where you're going, like the matatu. But here it's like everything is on a schedule, the buses, the trains, the trams, and you miss this one, and depending on where you live, if you miss this one, the next one will come in like 20 minutes and you know then you'll only be late for class, so you have to run and catch this one. Oh man, I remember this time I missed the train and I was already on the platform. Like I was like 10 seconds late. I was running to catch it. I saw the doors shutting and it just left. Like seriously, you know. Like yeah, they don't wait for you. You have to run. You have to run. And I think back home it's like the opposite.
It's really the opposite because the matatus, I feel like the matatus sometimes are the one who are doing the chasing.
Yeah.
Like they're the one who will be, Madam Kuja, like something like that. But here, you are always on the run.
Yeah, yeah.
Not unless you really, really be punctual. You know, your bus comes at 6:50, be there at 6:45.
Yeah.
Latest 6:44.
Yeah.
Okay. But also on the relaxed nature of the people, also it comes to calls, planned visits.
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember just a couple of weeks ago, some friends from high school, they're doing a video chat, and so they called me like to the group call. So, and then I checked like, who in the world does a video group call without scheduling? You know, like I had totally like I had to switch off my brain. Like okay, forget it. We're in Kenya again, you know, because it's like here you don't just pop in and announce. You don't just like call someone at random hours. Like let's do a video chat right now, or let's have a group call right now. You have to schedule. You have to ask someone, will you be available at this time? And they have to say, let me check. I'll get back to you on that. You know, like you don't just say I was in the neighborhood.
I decided to pop in. It's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are things like when you've been living here for a while, you kind of get used to that, and when you go back home, you kind of like have to remind yourself, okay, turn that off. You're back home. You're back in Kenya.
This is a whole different situation.
Yeah, switch back to the African timing.
Actually, the African timing is people try to say no, don't stereotype it, but I think sometimes it's true.
No,
it's just the relaxed nature.
True. It is so true. Like I know like back home with my friends, like when you tell someone like let's meet at 3 p.m, that would be like I'm leaving the house at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Not meet me there at 3 p.m.
Worst be one of the group member is showering at 3 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like whenever I go back home, I have to remind myself, don't take the time too seriously. Like, yeah, the schedule it's very flexible.
It's flexible here. What else in life, like, do you miss?
I would say one thing. Oh yeah, I do miss the language as well. Like I forgot to mention that, but yeah, you miss the language. Like after speaking French and hearing French the whole day, like after a while you miss hearing some stuff in Swahili or even in English. And actually that's how I came to know, well, not you, but the group that came before you, was that I was in school and then I just saw this group of black people coming. I was like, okay, they could be from anywhere. So they were Kenyan. And I walked past them minding my own business. Then I had someone say something in English and I just like, that's Kenyan English.
I know it.
So I just like turned around and went like, excuse me, are you from Kenya? I'm like, yes, oh my God. So yeah, definitely, like you just start missing the language. Like when you're traveling back home and you like walking through the airport or in the plane, you hear people speaking Swahili, you're like, yes,
I'm finally there.
Yeah.
It always starts, for me, it's like when we are queuing, mostly if I take KQ Airlines, it's like they have their billboards and everything in Swahili, or the Maasai is drawn and everything. You're like,
Karibu Kenya.
Karibu Kenya. You're like, I'm home. Even though hamjachukua your plane, you've not gone in, you're like, I'm home.
Yeah.
Language is essential.
I would say like one thing that I really miss the most is that freedom to talk about God and to profess your faith. When you're in Kenya, it's like very normal to bring up God in any situation, in any casual conversation or setup. You're just like, yeah, randomly. God is like everyone's second cousin, you know? Like you're just talking, narrating a story about how you were cooking, and then God reminded you to do this, and God showed you this. Like it's just so common to bring up God in any situation, you know, and here it's not the case. Like it's almost taboo to talk about, you know, like religion and God and to profess your faith. Like it's really sensitive,
yeah.
And that's so like unless like what you can do it is when you know you're in a religious setting already, like you're in church or the friends who you know are Christians or whatever. Yeah. And the second one would be if you're having a debate about religion, like it's the topic. We're talking about religion today, you know. We're
like, discussing it.
We're discussing it, yeah. So that's when you can talk about it freely. But otherwise, like there's just some things like you miss, like, you know, in Kenya. Saying God bless you, for example, it's like the same thing as saying thank you. You know, like when you're really grateful to someone, you say Aki Mungu akubariki.
It always comes naturally.
You know, like it's so normal. Like, but here, you can't go around blessing people here. You might actually offend someone, you know. So it's really like those are things like you miss. Like when you're back home, you take it for granted, but you really miss it. And it's not just in casual situations, even in very professional settings, like a meeting or a conference, you hear someone say, let's start with the word of prayer. You're like, what?
You mean people do this?
Yeah, like that's something you cannot see here, like definitely.
Yeah, it's like back in school when we were doing minutes, taking minutes, learning how to do it. We used to always start with the secretary open the meeting with a word of prayer. And then you come here, you can't even say, I went to church last weekend, you know?
Yeah, like someone asks you, what did you do this weekend? Nothing much, you know, but in reality, you want to say, yeah, I had choir practice on Saturday, I went to mass on Sunday, you know, you feel proud about your achievements, but you can't really say it much because it's like, it's awkward, you know, you'd put everyone in an awkward spot, like it just, I don't know.
I think people will always feel like there's topics they won't want to be talking about because you are there, you are Christian,
like it just makes it everything awkward. So like when you find other French people who are actually Christians and who are saying it openly, it's always a special occasion, like, oh, that's nice, that's great, you know. But some of them are still Christians and but they don't say it out loud, you know, because it's still kind of like it's a bit taboo. And so yeah, definitely that's something you miss from home, you know, that freedom, that religion, like to just profess your faith and, you know, God bless you. Percy, God bless you, by the way.
Let's take the opportunity.
Yeah, God bless you all.
I know, God bless everyone. I feel like it's always safer here, believe no one is a believer.
Yeah, you start from there and then you might find out this person actually is a believer, but just assume they are not. Yeah, that way it's safe.
It's safe. You won't end up in any, because I think some people will take it personally.
Yeah, some people get really offended, like they don't want to hear anything about that, you know. So yeah, definitely, it's sensitive.
Okay, well, guys, the theme or what we are learning is don't take for granted what you have at home.
Yeah, definitely. The little things, you know, like the little things. Yeah. Little things you take for granted, like getting your hair done. So.
Anyway, thank you so much, Lydia, for coming. It's been so much fun recording this video.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for the love. Thank you for the 230 plus subscribers. It's been a good journey. Thank you for liking and subscribing. As a custom, today's verse, Lydia is going to be sharing with us.
Okay, and so this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 to 18. Be joyful always, pray at all times, be thankful in all circumstances. This is what God wants from you in your life, in union with Christ Jesus.
So from what we've been talking about, the whole video is, don't take little things for granted.
Yeah.
Give thanks in everything. You got your hair done, be thankful.
Yeah.
You are able to speak freely about your religion,
faith,
your faith, be thankful. All those small things.
You had githeri today, be thankful. Oh my God. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Be thankful. God bless you all.
God bless you. Thank you, guys.
Everybody,